Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot.
देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi taupo में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singatoka, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva.
It's hot.
हम इंग्लिश लंबासा में रहता है तो क्या बताइए हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, बहुत जुलूम जुलूम.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
In this bulletin, Methodist Church President Reverend Tuikilakila Wangai Ratu passes away. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to visit Fiji this Friday. And India offers assistance towards Fiji's elections. Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FBC News. The president of the Methodist Church in Fiji, Reverend Tuikilakila Wangai Ratu, has passed away after a short illness. Reverend Tuikilakila passed away at the CWM hospital at 9 this morning at the age of 66. He hails from Naroi in Moala, Lao, and also holds the title of Turanga Tui Nassau. Reverend Tuikilakila is survived by his wife Joanna and a daughter. According to the procedures of the Methodist Church, the former president, in this case Reverend Ahmed Tungawe, will act as the interim president until a new president is elected. Meanwhile, the government says it is saddened and shocked by Reverend Tuikilakila's death and conveys its condolences to Reverend Tuikilakila's family. In what may be considered as a major step towards normalizing relations with Fiji, Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop will be visiting Fiji this Friday. The Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum confirms government will be meeting Bishop to discuss several issues between the two countries. Vasita Kote Wasawasa reports this is Bishop's first visit to Fiji since taking up the foreign minister post last year.
Julie Bishop has always given strong support for Australia to re-engage with Fiji. Her visit this Friday is seen as a major step towards improving relations.
We understand, Julie Bishop is coming to Fiji this week, and I think these are some of the issues that need to be highlighted. There's a lot of, cocktails, people are getting invited to cocktails, etc., but a cocktail does not mean that all these issues are being addressed. We're not actually hanging out to be invited to cocktails. We want to do actually what is best for Fiji.
The Attorney General says despite efforts to mend the relationship between the two countries, there has been little progress made so far.
Got all these supposed overtures being made about how we are best mates again, but in fact a lot of these fundamental issues need to be addressed. We still have travel bans on.
One of the issues the Fijian government will be discussing with Bishop is the double taxation agreement with Australia, which he says is one-sided. He says while India has been reasonable, our close neighbours have opted to be more accommodating to developed countries apart from Fiji.
For example, if you have an Australian investor that comes to Fiji and takes advantage of some of our tax-free zones or reduced tax rates, they don't pay tax to us. But the Australians don't recognize this, so when they go back to Australia, they have to pay tax on that income that's derived from income that Fiji has foregone. That's obviously grossly unfair.
Sayed Qayyum says there has always been much hype from Australia regarding the selection of our judicial system.
They comment about the methodology of the appointment. Under the Constitution, we have a Judicial Services Commission. They don't have a JSC. The Attorney General in Australia recommends the appointment of a judge. The Prime Minister has a say in the appointment of the Chief Justice. A similar provision exists in New Zealand. Exactly the same provision. In Fiji, we have a JSC that makes a recommendation, which consists of independent members. Yet, they think that their judiciary members are not compromised, whereas ours are. Is it a question because they're Australia and we are little tin pot Fiji?
Fiji's relationship with Australia has been icy since 2006. It has been subject to many talks held between government officials from the two countries, but no concrete steps has been taken. Maybe it will change this time round. Vasita Kotiwasawasa, FBC News.
India is the latest country to join others that have pledged their assistance to Fiji for the general elections. About $5 million in aid from the Indian government will be directed towards elections preparation. Chanel Sivan reports.
7 months remain before elections when Fiji returns to full parliamentary democracy after 8 years. Help from the international community continues to pour in.
Some of them obviously are talking directly to the Electoral Commission, and but like I said, the Indians have offered us, indelible ink. The Australians have, said they'll continue to provide us consultants. The Papua New Guineans are to give us their 25 million kina by end of March. And but also on the other hand, which is interesting, we've also had the Indians who have committed to providing support to our Hansard reporters for Parliament. And they can train up to 40 Hansard reporters.
The Indian government has also opted to train Hansard reporters, 40 to be exact. Hansard reporters are experts in parliamentary debates. Fiji currently lacks Hansard reporters, as many have left the industry.
And they've also indicated that they can contribute something like $4 to $5 million for Parliament. In terms of, obviously, we want to ensure that the Parliament has the right technology. We have right from computer screens and good sound systems for Parliament itself, research skills. The Indians have also said that they are going to give some vehicles for the Elections Office, which we hope to get very soon.
Meanwhile, the government has also commissioned a report from United Nations on Fiji's parliament.
We've just received the report in terms of the capacity of the parliament, what infrastructure should be there, and also in terms of having specific job descriptions for people who will be within the Secretary General's office, the Secretary General to Parliament. There needs to be a Secretary General, as you know. It's under the Constitution. And the Secretary General is appointed by the Constitutional Officers Commission.
Australia, New Zealand and the EU are currently providing technical help towards the electoral process. A budget of $44 million is being looked at for the elections in September. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The Commissioner Northern Alipatim Bolalevu has extended the suspension of fishing and the fishing grounds belonging to the Tikina of Nandi in Bua. Bolalevu made the decision after a meeting with the chiefs of Nasawana, Nasolo, Nasavu and Sawani at Nambawalu today. No decision has been made on issues of poaching, which was raised in the meeting. The chiefs of Sawani want their reef to be legally declared a marine protected area. Bolalevu says the chiefs need to discuss these issues amongst themselves first.
I'm surprised there were no Muslims who have been convinced from for quite some time now. And I have asked Kalambuli Navere if he can convene a meeting as soon as possible so that we can resolve all these issues.
The Bosini Vanua is scheduled for next Thursday at Sawani village, and another meeting with the Commissioner Northern will be held on the 25th of this month. Still to come on FBC News, Chinese company awaits government's approval to manufacture cement blocks.
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Ndo talita kana borong na Mbula FM number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat itu gerak-geraki au rebot juga nistima au ndo talita kana borong na Mbula.
Bola bina Fiji Mbula FM number 2 singa toka.
Bola bina era roga Mbula FM number 2 tikoga.
Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Welcome back to FBC News. Bus companies are once again warned to shape up or ship out. The warning comes as a public complaints against bus overcrowding in the Nasinu and Suva areas resurfaced this morning. LTA spokesperson Elias Sokia says the authority will investigate the complaints, which he says are serious, adding such irregularity can affect the renewal of the road route license of some buses.
For them to understand what we call a supplementary service, wherever at a certain time when they see that the bus is full, they call in their supplement service. It's regulated. It's a must that they do this.
The complaints were relayed by concerned parents in a Radio Fiji One talkback show this morning. China Development Company has started dredging for sand in parts of the Rewa River while it waits for government's approval to manufacture cement blocks. Epeli Tukuwasa reports the company has been waiting for months for the Ministry of Lands to give the green light for their project.
The cement-making factory is ready for start manufacturing. However, what's causing the delay is the lease application, which is yet to be granted by the Ministry of Lands.
Factory to manufacture the block haven't started. We are waiting for the security of land, the title from the Ministry of Lands Department. Once they get that title, because they feel secure of starting the factory.
China Development Company is not waiting around for the approval. It has started to dredge sand for its raw material.
Right now they are dredging in front of the Lorem office, just across the Nosur Airport, which is owned by the Tonga Golingoli, which belongs to the Tongan Tikin of Tonga, and they have signed agreements for some social projects where they benefit from the redemption and also the redemption of the
Licensee Tutumbo says the company is also still waiting for government's approval for a license to dredge other parts of the Rewa River.
The sand from for the cement factory, for the block factory. At the same time, they are redrenching the Rewa River, which is a win-win situation to the government.
Ministry of Land says they are still processing the application, and Tutumbo says that this project will benefit the people living along the river and also the government. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
Concerns have emerged from the consumer watchdog on the lack of information available for consumers to compare fees and charges by the 6 major financial institutions in Fiji. A latest survey done by the Consumer Council of Fiji has revealed that such charges not only makes it harder for ordinary Fijians to apply for unsecured loans, but also consumers end up paying a huge amount in interest rates. Sharin Lata reports.
An extensive survey on unsecured loans was done in January following a large number of advertisements by the banks. Consumer Council of Fiji Chief Executive Premila Kumar claims the term for unsecured loans is normally short and consumers have difficulty in paying up, especially when the interest rate are variable.
If you want 3,000 unsecured loan, interest rate range from 14 to 17%, and 14% the lowest was offered by Westpac and the highest 17% was offered by Bread Bank and BSP. Approval or establishment fee also ranged from $75 right up to $200.
The chair of the Association of Banks in Fiji, Kevin McCarthy, says bank charges for loans are determined by their personal experience with bad debts and the cost of staffing to provide the loan service. He further says that the difference in bank charges between the banks shows that there is a strong competition in the market. So how does the consumers gain?
They can only gain if they do bank shopping, so that they can get best deals from the banks.
While the council understands unsecured personal loan is a way for consumers to access some financial resources, they are urging greater consumer responsibility. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
While Nandi's plan to become a city is progressing slowly, its top priority now is to improve its services. This is one of the ways the Nandi Town Council believes will make the tourist town look like a model satellite city before it is officially given its new status. Akasita Tale reports there is good news for all Nandi residents.
Naya Dice has always been one of the favorite spots in Nandi Town, as it provides a big space for every citizen to sit and relax on a hot day or during those busy shopping weekends. However, it does not have proper seats, and the council has promised its residents this is one of their top priorities that will be refurbished this year.
A lot of people come on Saturdays, on busy days, and people don't have area to, relax or to go. It's only footpath and the concrete. So Naya Dice is one very important area where we are refurbishing it, and we're going to make it more passive and active recreational area. And besides it, we're going to have some additional car parks and bring in more seats in that area.
Not only does it aim to give a new look to its bus bay, improve public amenities and ensure it's disabled friendly, the council is working on building a new evacuation center at Korodiri.
Funds has been allocated by the government through the Housing Authority Funds is coming, but we are doing the plans, and very soon we are going to start work.
However, the major hurdle now is the allocation of land on the new proposed 4-lane road from Nasoso to Ndenarau.
We don't know actually what amount of the land they are taking, because we want to beautify the town. We want the tourists and the visitors to have the first impression of Fiji and Nandi when they get out of the airport. So we want to really do some landscaping and other beautification projects along the road right up to the town. So at the moment, not knowing how the road is going to go, how much is going to cut.
With many beautification projects soon to take place in Nandi this year, Nandi Town will sure be a favorite spot for both locals and tourists. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
It's time for sports, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. In sports tonight, the Fiji Warriors ready to defend its title with provincial players in the mix, also eager to make a name for themselves on the international scene. This and more after the break.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Lotto kasi love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Fiji Warriors is out to retain its Pacific Rugby Cup title. The Shadow Flying Fijian side includes several provincial players that are looking to stamp their mark in the regional competition. Tsale Ndadakadaka with more.
The Fiji Warriors side will be looking to continue their dominance in the Pacific Rugby Cup, and officials are working on covering all the bases.
The boys are all fit and they've been tested medically. The strength and conditioning is good. It could be better, but we hope to raise that in the next 2 weeks.
The competition features Shadow Super Rugby franchise teams as well as the Argentina Pampas side, providing a good learning curve for our local boys.
They need that exposure. They're going from the provincial level, one step up, and hopefully they make it into the national team.
The 2014 PRC season will kick off on the 21st of this month. Chalendo Kavak, FBC Sports.
Army has long been regarded as a top side in the local Sevens arena, but the cabinet has been missing several major trophies as of late, something the team will be hoping to change this year. An inter-unit tournament was held as a means to gauge the talent that can not only fill in this void, but also win titles. 14 teams are competing in the Super Cricket League competition, with one team in particular, the BSP Titans, looking to improve its standing to avoid relegation to the second-tier division next season. Tsale Ndadakadaka reports.
Made up of expatriates from India, Sri Lanka and Iran, the BSP Titans side has been enjoying the tough competition against the top teams in Suva.
BSP Titans are doing okay. In the first round we came third in the Premier comp. In this round, we are coming fifth at this point. Well, the competition is becoming better and we have to step up.
The team finds itself in a fragile position though, and will need to lift their game to avoid the promotion relegation stages.
We have to pick up, but what happens is the last two teams in the Premier League fall to the A-League. So we don't want to obviously be in that position. We stay in the Premier League for next year if we stay in the top 5 team.
There are 4 more rounds left to play before the semi-finals. Chalendo Kavak, FBC Sports.
And that is your sports for tonight. Good evening.
Fiji's national airline, Fiji Airways and Pacific Sun, its regional and domestic subsidiary, today reported their January 2014 on-time performance results. Fiji Airways reported an improved on-time performance of 80% for January 2014 compared to 78% for December 2013 and 77.5% for November. Pacific Sun continued to outperform with another outstanding on-time performance of 94.1% in January compared to 93.5% in December and 88% in November. Stefan Pichler, Fiji Airways Managing Director and CEO, says their teams have been quite diligent and kept steadfast focus on operational excellence during the busy month of January. Jen's here to add a little spice to the mix and hopefully sunny weather.
Thanks, Amrita. I love that bit about the spice. Not so sure about the sunny weather. We did get some sun, but it would have been nice to avoid these gloomy conditions altogether. Very warm today, not just in the capital, but throughout the country. Lambasa and our friends in the western side were in sync on 33 degrees, while Suva and Savasavu had the lower temperature on 32. Get out those oversized jackets, gumboots and umbrellas. Whatever you can use to keep yourselves nice and dry tomorrow afternoon. Suva and Savasavu, be prepared. You might need yours from the morning. And what weather segment wouldn't be complete without the requisite sunset? This one was beautifully captured over the old Rewa Bridge. My goodness, cat got my tongue. Which we all know is in Nausori. And if you didn't know that, then I'm really worried about our generation, Amrita.
I'm certain they do, Genevieve. Now, before we leave our main stories again, Methodist Church President Reverend Tui Kilakila Wangairatu passes away. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to visit Fiji this Friday. And India offers assistance towards Fiji's elections. On to our poll question. This week we ask, should health checks be made mandatory for PSV drivers? Visit the FBC website to answer. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your stories at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's FBC News for tonight. Good evening.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Batu Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.